Okay, we took the S-Bahn to the Berlin Zoological Garden stop, and here's the corner. It's a very busy corner, and we're walking to the entrance of the zoo. So here we are at the entrance. We're near the ticket gate, and up there you can see the lions at the entrance to the zoo. There's a lot of people here today, so it must be a lot of interest. It's a pretty day. Okay, we just went into the zoo office, and we talked with some people, and all the people on the list that Mom gave me are dead, but they knew some of the names. For example, Hecht. So I spoke with the secretary of the zoo director, and she was very interested in getting Mom's book. So I left the book for the zoo director, and I wrote in it Mom's address because I think he would like to send a thank you to her. But there are currently no lions in the zoo. They have one female lion, and they don't have her on display. They're building a new zoo, a lion house at the zoo. So we're gonna just walk through the zoo, and I'm gonna take video of some of the landmarks, and maybe some of that will look familiar to Mom. This looks old, but I'm not sure. Used to have a moat around it. So but it looks like an old building. I don't know what it was when Mom was here. Okay, I'm not sure if this is the back of that last building that we had, but it looks old, so I'm not sure what used to be here. We're gonna go inside. Marion is trying to get a picture. So, I'm not sure what this means. Bears, tigers, hippos, monkeys, yeah, maybe we'll find something about the lions. Let me see what this history is over here. The seal enclosure. And here's some kids in 1931. Oh, that looks like a baby lion, doesn't it? Let's see. I'm going to slow down if I see something about the lions. So the sign says this is Marble Hall around 1920. The restaurants Marble Hall and the neighboring Imperial Hall were two of the biggest event venues in Berlin. The halls could also be accessed from Budapester Strasse. Big receptions were held there. For example, the press ball in the 1930s. For those who could not afford the grand restaurant, the affordable tavern Waldschanke still offered simple meals and beer. Oh, there's the entrance, and those lions are still here at the entrance, the lion gate. This is some of the destruction in the zoo after the war. Probably hard for Mom to see. The World War started by Germany had an impact on Berlin Zoo in various respects. Saving, rationing, military service of the employees, and a decline in visitors took a huge toll. At the beginning of the war, Hermann Goering declared Germany's zoos as enterprises essential to the war effort as they contributed to the entertainment of the population. Meanwhile, the zoo replaced some of the staff that had been drafted into the military as forced laborers. During the Allied air raids, many of the animals were evacuated to other zoos, most of them killed by the bombs. Oh, here's about Mr. Heck. I'll show the German version and then I'll read the English. Lutz Heck was the scientific director of the Zoological Garden from 1932 to 1945 during his tenure in office. The outdoor enclosures were expanded, a move already introduced by him in his role as an assistant. The staff was Nazified, and the zoo completely fell into line with the goals of National Socialism. Together with the business director Hans Alman and the board of directors, Heck was responsible for the removal of the board's Jewish members. At war's end, he fled Berlin in order to evade arrest by Soviet troops. And Lutz Heck writes to the Reich manager of the foundation, August 8, 1939. On April 20, 1938, Adolf Hitler, on the occasion of his birthday, granted the title of honorary professor to Lutz Heck. Heck went on to use this title in all documents. The title was not bound to the university, and Heck had never worked as a professor. Oh, look here. Interesting. I'll put over the German and then I'll read it in English. Lutz Heck was well acquainted with the Hermann Goering, a high-ranking Nazi functionary who was, among other positions, the head of the Reich Forest Department. Heck provided him with young lions as pets, which he then took back once they grew too big to be petted or cuddled. Goering later chose Heck for a leading position in the forestry department and appointed him in 1943 to be the sole director of the zoo. Both shared passion for hunting. In this picture, they are seen together on October 21, 1943, in Schorfheide. Whatever that is. So there's the picture. Wow.
Interesting. So it showed.
Yes. Let's see here. This was a picture of the zoo. It probably shows the lions. Where's the lion's house? It's written in German. Okay. So this looked like an interesting So those animals can't jump over this moat, I guess. Those deer. There's a panda garden. Okay, this used to be the lion enclosure. So this was the view where everyone's looking when Hitler came. Right here. This is the moat where the lion cub fell and my grandfather pulled him out. Here's a little plaque that explains the enclosure. I thought this might have been it when I walked by, and then we saw this plaque. It says, let me get closer. It says, this rocky habitat opened in 1936 was once shared by as many as 10 lions. The landscape was designed to be reminiscent of an African savanna and featured heated sand patches for the big cats. Visitors were separated from the lions by only a moat instead of a fence, which was a novel feature at that time. With the impressive rocky backdrop and an unobstructed view of the lions, visitors were given the impression that they were staring at landscape, sharing a landscape with these remarkable animals. So here's a meerkat, and he looks like he's he's jumping up to the people. I think he wants somebody to hold him. I bet he was bottle fed by a person.
He wants to come out.
Let's see if there's any more over here. Hello. Are there any more?
Gehört da aber nicht hin. Der gehört am besten Falle in die Natur. Oder wenn denn, vielleicht dann noch in zoologischen Einrichtungen, wo sie artgerecht gehalten werden können. Deswegen wurde Pedro damals dort beschlagnahmt und kam mit zu uns in unserem Zoo, in unsere Schimpansengruppe. Damals waren sie alle noch sehr klein gewesen. Da konnte man die schnell integrieren und dann konnte auch unser Animus zusammen groß werden. Unser erstes Weibchen, das ist unsere Gusta. Gusta ist im Zoo Rotterdam geboren, ist mittlerweile 40 Jahre alt, damit die älteste hier in der Gruppe. Und mit 40 Jahren wäre sie schon in der Natur jedenfalls eine etwas betagtere Schimpansendame, weil Schimpansen werden in der Natur so im Durchschnitt 45 Jahre alt. Aber bei uns in den Zoos können sie noch deutlich älter werden, 50 bis 60 Jahre, teilweise sogar noch drüber hinaus. Das ist keine Seltenheit. Einfach natürlich aus dem Grund, wir haben bei uns optimale Bedingungen das ganze Jahr über, immer ausreichend und viel Nahrung in bester Qualität.
Okay, so here was the old lion enclosure, and right across the street was the aquarium. And Mom mentioned that they were offered an apartment under the aquarium for free. And there's a lake right here, and their apartment had a view of the lake from a window. It was down low, so let's come here to the lake. And this all makes sense. Right here is the water. But apparently they could see the lake from their apartment. I think their apartment was kind of down low, and they turned it down. Mom's father turned it down because he was up to no good, and he Figured his wife would find out if they lived too close to the zoo. Okay, this is that's the aquarium in front of us. So here's a little water thing, and they've turned this into a restaurant. And looks like there's another part of the lake over here on this side. Let's go inside the restaurant for a second. So it looks like cold food and warm. Let's just see what it looks like. So there's the drinks. Oh. Just reading the menu. Okay, here we are eating our first currywurst. That's what it looks like. And let's try it. Here's a little. Try that.
I take a bite, okay?
It's different, isn't it? It's bratwurst. The zoo's behind us. We're sitting at a nice place where we can look around, but we haven't seen any of the friends doing the car witnessing. Okay, here we are at Potsdamer Platz. We're going to jump across to this mall. So we go all the way to Berlin to go to a mall. Can you believe that? Alright, so we just came from that side. And now we're going to that side. And this is a little spot to sit in between the two malls. And it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's a floor below us. It's got to be 5 stories. It's a huge mall.